welcome to or welcome back to my channel. I am B. In today's video, I'm not really sure what I'm going to be doing yet. I know there's going to be scrap yarn involved, but I'm unsure what the finished product's going to look like, so I'm quite excited to see what is going to come of this. But essentially, I finished off this jumper that I'm wearing now in my previous video, and after I finished it, I was kind of like, I don't really have anything to work on now, because I like to knit one thing at a time really. And then I was knitting my t-shirt, that's gone wrong. So I've had to undo that entire thing, so I'm having a little break from it to come back to it regenerated, I think. I've been 2 days without a knitting project, and my hands are just itching to get back at it. I know it sounds dramatic, but life doesn't feel like it's worth living without a knitting project on the go for me. Very dramatic. That basically forced me to have a look through what I already have in my stash. I am very good now at only buying yarn with a project in mind. However, when I first started out, I was buying willy-nilly quite a lot, and that basically means that I've got quite a lot in my stash that it's either small quantities or stuff that I have used for different projects and it's left over, or yarn that I don't want it to be its own project, if you see what I mean. I think the quality of yarn that I choose now is different to back when I started, which is completely okay. But that basically means I've got a lot of scraps, and I thought it'd be great to make a little scrap project. I love these videos on YouTube, so I thought I would just make my own. And I casted on yesterday, sorry about that, because I was just needed to do something. And oof, here are my scrap yarns. So all very bright and colourful, which I am very happy about. I really want a nice scrappy, colourful thing, item of clothing, I guess. And I've also cast on, I think I'm going in with the aims of making a vest, potentially, because when I was trying this on without the sleeves, I actually really liked the way it looked. So I think in my head, I'm going to make a V-neck vest with buttons down the middle. It's like a, what is it, like a cardigan vest? I don't know what that's called. I think I'm just going to do the body and see how it looks, see if I want to add sleeves. Who knows? I think I've got enough yarn for that, and I've got a few extras in the back as well. I was just picking up the most colourful yarns I have. I'm just basically doing the back yoke now. Kind of just guessed at a lot of stuff. I'm just want to go with the flow with this project, I think. So I just guessed how many stitches to cast on. Well, an informed guess, actually, because it's all DK weight, so I roughly know the size that it's going to be. And then I am just doing German short row shaping to make the back yoke. Just going to knit until it's the length I want for the armhole. Front panel, left, right, join together, and then working back and forth. That's the plan. I have not got further than that. That's all I have to say at the moment. I am just going to carry on picking up random colours as I go. I think I'm going to make this the right side. I actually really like the way that it looks with garter stitch when you pick up new colours and it kind of comes through in the row before. Oh yeah, I also didn't say, this is going to be a garter stitch project. I have never actually done a full garter stitch project before because I'm a bit of a hater with the way it looks. But with stripes, I love the scrappiness of it. I think they look really good with scrap projects. So that's the plan. Hopefully I won't be a garter stitch hater after this. Hello, hello. It is update time. I have finished the back yoke and I've started on one of the shoulders. Good progress is being made, seeing as it's a DK weight. Oh my gosh, look at the absolute mess of ends. I'll show you this angle, this side. I've tried to keep all of my ends onto the other side just to make it a bit easier. I absolutely love the fluffy stripe. I wish I had more textured yarns to add in there because I think it adds so much. It's like a little Grinch stripe. But yeah, I've basically done all of the ends on one side because I'm thinking of making it double-sided. And instead of weaving in 1,000 ends, I am thinking of just tying them off and leaving some of them dangling. So I would cut them a bit shorter so it's not quite as messy, tie them off and then leave them, and then have it reversible. So if I want to be extra funky, I'll wear it with the ends out. If I fancy being a bit more demure and put together, I'll wear it with the ends in. In my head, I'm planning on doing a double knit button band down the middle because that would be reversible. The ribbing would be fine, that would be reversible too. Armholes, might do the same ribbing as the bottom, or I might do an I-cord edge. It depends how big the shoulders are, basically. I'm thinking it could be doable. I would just have to sew buttons onto both sides of the button placket, but I don't see why that's an issue. And I'm planning on using a lot of the scrap buttons that I have in my tin. And I think that would just go perfectly with absolute scrappy vest. I've already workshopped a name that I'm actually really pleased with. I'm thinking about calling it the load of scrap vest. Is that a bit too on the nose? I don't know. But I don't know, I might consider making it a pattern if it turns out really nicely. If not, it'll just be my little monstrosity. And that is fine by me. It's been a great way to use up all of the little bits and pieces I had lying around though. Especially the little fluffy Grinch yarn. I didn't really have enough to make a full project. I'm just on the increases for the shoulder. Let me try on. There we go. How's it looking? I can't see. That's the front. Got a little furry stripe here. I think it's looking really cool so far. Very happy with it. We must continue.
Gets me almost every time in the midst of summer, watching it in full bloom always makes me wonder when we were just kids, bare feet on warm asphalt. Held our dreams within our hands. It happens every time, I wonder how.
So, it is an absolutely glorious day today, in a very, very good mood. So I've just brought myself to the park to get a bit of fresh air because it's 23 degrees Celsius. Absolutely lovely, lovely for a spring day. So I've basically just brought myself to the park around the corner and it feels like I've got the whole place to myself. Like, it's just so nice. So I've sat under a little tree in some dappled light so I don't get too burnt, and I've got my knitting with me. I've brought just a few different colours to tide me over while I'm here. That's the only annoying thing about this project, is that you do have to bring quite a few balls of yarn with you to keep changing colour and stuff. That's my only complaint really, because other than that it's been incredibly mindless and it's using up my stash so well. I've used up a good few colours now that I had left over, and all I have left to do is finish off the body, and I've got to do all the trimmings and everything, but I have a feeling I'm going to need help choosing colours for the placket and the arms. But let me just finish this row and then I'll try it on for you. Right, so it probably still will look quite messy just because of the billions of ends that are still on the inside. I basically just need to tie them together and trim them. But I would leave that until the end because I want to be quite mindful about which ones I leave and how long. I don't know. Look how funky. What do you think? I think it looks a bit like a carpet, really funky carpet, but I'm really liking the way it looks so far. Loving the size of the armhole, that's exactly what I was going for, because I want to wear it, to be able to wear it with t-shirts like this. I think would be really cool, but a more plain one, so you don't have the graphic popping through. The V, really liking the depth of that. Once the placket's on there as well, it'll be a little bit smaller, but I like it. I really like the little fluffy Grinch bits as well. I think it adds a really fun texture. Would you like to see the back? There you go. That's the back. Ooh, let's settle back in. That's where we are for the moment. That much of the body. I think we've got a bit of a way to go. Yeah, I want it to hit at least my hips because I want it to be a good layering piece. That is the plan. Keep blooming knitting, keep going. It's so nice not to have to do purl rows. I feel like it would have taken such a longer time. And I'm looking forward to having this done. It'll be my first fully finished garter stitch project. Gonna carry on now, keep going. I will update you later. One thing I will say about this project is I've been working with a majority of cottons. I think that's just what I happen to have most of at a DK weight, just because of summer tops and everything that I've made in the past. I don't have a massive problem working with cotton, but it's giving me some sort of, it feels like a carpet burn or something on my finger, just because I knit continentally. That's something that's happened. And then also, with regard to the colour changes and everything, it's felt very freeing just to be able to choose a random colour. And I like how sporadic and erratic the stripes are, like finishing in the middle of a row and everything. But I will say, slightly stressful to have to keep changing colours, and then also to have to think about what colours look good next to each other. Maybe I should have just closed my eyes and picked some, but I wanted to have a good spread. Like, I didn't want colours to be repeated too frequently, not on purpose. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's been a thought throughout this process. Is I want to maintain an even coverage for all of the different colours and stripes in a way that looks random but has actually been quite curated. Intention, and that's the word that I'm looking for, intentional placement. So yeah, it's been nice to just like use a bunch of different colours and get rid of this stash. Not as mindless as it would be if it were just one colour, which is to be expected, that's fine. It's been quite nice to have something that is easy to knit up, but still requires a little bit of thought every now and then, so it doesn't get boring. And it's also a really nice way to see the project grow, because you're doing it stripe by stripe, and then it just starts to build really quickly. And it's a nice way to measure progress as well, because, for example, I started the body on this light green stripe, so I can be like, oh, done that much already, that's not too bad, is it? Not too shabby. But I will stop yapping now, carry on working.
I just wanna go out on a walk with you. Baby, you know I just like to talk with you.
Hello vlog! James and I have come for a little impromptu hike and camp trip.
Hello.
It's a little bit of a random midweek thing, but we're pretty close to home, so we thought it might be just nice to crack open the camping stuff for the first time this year. It's been beautiful and sunny all day long, and as soon as we got here, a bit bloody cloudy, but it's still really nice and warm. Look at all the fields. Wow. It's meant that the knitting project, the scrap vest, is going to see some serious sights. You better believe I've brought that with me, even though I didn't really have space. I've got my whole knitting kit as well, just in case. But we're just doing a big old walk now. Gonna carry on until we make camp. Bye vlog.
I just wanna go out and walk with you. I just wanna see your shadow next to mine, sailing over pavement with our two wet lines. I like to see the shape you're in from time to time. I just wanna see your shadow next to mine. I just wanna see the same things you can see, understand the meaning on a new degree. Maybe that could happen when you're next to me. I just wanna see the same things you can see.
Okay, we have made it back from camping in one piece. Didn't get eaten by bears, which is great. I managed to get a lot of stuff done on the vest. So, as you'll have seen, basically was just finishing off the last few colours of the body, and then the ribbing of the body is what I basically started and finished. It is now Sunday on the little bank holiday weekend. Didn't manage to get much done yesterday because we went to Bristol to watch a football match. We watched Bristol City versus Preston because James is from Bristol. So we were supporting them, hoping to get into the playoffs, which they did. And then it was manic. Everyone rushed onto the pitch, but it was really, really nice. It was a really good game. Lots of goals, which is great, ups and downs. Was out all day long celebrating, so didn't really manage to get anything done. So when I got home this morning, I started on one of the armholes. I've just done an I-cord edge, first time doing it. It was fine. I really like the way it looks. Here we are. Look at all the little fluffy bits. That looks so good. Oh, I also finished off the, what are they called? The loose ends. I didn't feel like weaving in 1,000 ends, so I basically just tied them off and then cut them at like 2 inches long, I think. So I'm planning on the vest being double-sided anyway, so that I can wear it neat side out if I want to, and then if I'm feeling a bit funky, wear it with the ends out. So let me show you what that looks like. I think it looks super funky. Like I'm not mad about how the ends look. I think it kind of fits the ugly aesthetic that is this vest. I've got all the ends sticking out on this side, and then I don't have any ends on this side because I changed colour on the same side every time. Hindsight. This is the I-cord edging I did. Chose blue, and I still have to do the other armhole, as you can see, and I'm thinking I'm going to do red on this one. But I think it's going to look super good. So it's going to be red on that armhole just for the edging, and I'm thinking for the button band, a little bit of chartreuse just to lighten up the middle, you know? So that is the plan. It's really nearly done. So I reckon I will be done by tomorrow. Have it blocking. Today is also an exciting day. We are going to a jousting tournament. So at Blenheim Palace, which is near us, they do all sorts of different random events, and that's one of the ones this weekend. So we thought we'd go, and there's like medieval combat, jousting, like, I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be really cool. So I'll show you some little clips from that. Once we come home, We are out at the pub this evening, so I will be able to do some knitting. I will bring it with me. I will definitely have the other I-cord finished off today and hopefully make a start on the button band. But yeah, let me give you a full body. What do you think? I think it looks really cool, and it's quite ugly, but in a fun way. I really like it. But yeah, I think adding the button band, it will lighten it up, and it will also bring the V up a little bit. Oh, hello. It is Tuesday, and yes, I'm wearing the same outfit. Do not shout at me, I'm saving the turtles. Lots to update you on. The Jester tournament, it was so good. There was like a narrative the entire time, so it was kind of like a play. It was really cool. Saw lots of cool stuff, saw jesters, saw a bird show. I do recommend. Be recommended. We also had sports day yesterday, which was absolutely amazing. The weather wasn't the best for it, but we still showed up. It was like a classic British primary school sports day. We did a sack race, egg and spoon race, three-legged race, and then like a beanbag toss, and then played rounders at the end, which was very, very fun. Had a great time. When I got home after sports day yesterday, I started the button band. Sunday after the jousting tournament, I finished the I-cord edging for the other armhole, and then I cast on my stitches round the entire front for the plackets, if you see what I mean. Just I figured that was going to take a long time. I just wanted to get going. So let me show you how it's looking. So this is the armhole that I finished. Very nice and neat. I'm loving the look of the I-cord edge. And then this is my first ever double knit button band. Oh, wow, no way. It is time consuming. I'm actually really, really enjoying it just because it just looks so nice. It's so satisfying to work up. So that's what I'm going to be working on for the rest of today. And I actually really like, I still think it works double-sided. So this is the right side, technically, even though it's got all the funky ends on it. Because here you can see where I picked it up at the edge. You can see those green stitches there. But I actually really like the way it looks. I think it fits in really well with this little garter stitch. You can see I've done 3 buttonholes already. Bam, bam, bam. And I've done each of the buttonholes differently to see what my favourite method is, because this is my first time doing it. I think this one looks the messiest. So it's between these two for the neatest. I'm going to write up a pattern for this just in case, but you guys are going to have to let me know if you actually want one for this. I've got 1 more buttonhole. I'm going to do 4 in total, and I need to figure out which technique I want to do, and then I'm going to write it up so that I don't have to do it after the fact and get all confused. What do you reckon? Which one's neater? I'm tempted to say this one, just because of something funky going on with these stitches here. But I'm hoping this is going to be nice and mindless, especially after I get the last buttonhole done. Just need to block it. Just need to get it blocked. And once it's blocked, I'm going to sew on my scrap buttons. And that will be the load of scrap vest completed. Consider it done, mate. I'm very happy. It's like one of the funkiest things I've made in a long time. I have made an error. I've done a bit of a silly. I essentially looked at the wrong stripe when I was working out my buttonholes. So I knew that I started the body on one of these chartreuse ones, So I placed my stitch markers for the buttonhole, the top buttonhole, to this chartreuse line rather than that one. So I just finished working the last buttonhole, and I was like, oh, that's quite close to the seam on the shoulders. It's because I did it wrong. What I'm thinking is it's quite lucky the placement of the third and top buttonhole is very close to where I started the body. So what I'm thinking is I'm just going to keep that one as the top buttonhole and have 3 buttonholes, because I think 4 would be too crowded on this short of a body, I guess. So I just need to undo this buttonhole here that I've just done, undo up until that, and then I can just redo a couple inches worth. Won't take too long. That's something to note. Make sure you've placed your buttonholes correctly. Hello. It is another beautiful day. I am out and about. Basically, I blocked the vest a couple of days ago. It's just taken a bit of a long time to dry because it's mostly cotton. So in an attempt to make it dry faster, I've actually propped it up and blasted the fan at it today. And it is dry now. So I was looking through my button stash, my scrap buttons, and a lot of the buttons that I have are on the larger side. I'm not too sure why, but they just seem to be what I have. So I thought I would take myself off to the yarn shop, because the yarn shop local to me has like a big bucket of scrap buttons for 1p each. So I thought that is perfect. So I just went there, had a little route through all the scrap buttons, and I selected a fair few that I think I like the look of. So that is the job now. I'm going to sit and I'm going to sew those on, and then it's done. You're joking. I love it! Ooh! Do you like the buttons? Little scrappy buttons? I'm actually so surprised and so pleased with how this came out. I thought that it was going to be the sort of thing that I was like, oh, I'm not sure I would get a lot of wear out of this because it is quite out there. But it just looks like a bit of an ugly 80s jumper, no? I say ugly affectionately, by the way. I actually really like 80s jumpers. I really like this. You can see the I-cord edging. Ooh, very fancy. It has actually turned out shallow enough to wear as probably just a top, which I'm very happy about. I really, really like it. I think it was a great use of scrap yarn. I think if you've got little odd bits and pieces, yarn and buttons, it works very, very well. I'll do a little twirl for you. Keep twirling. Oh, I really, really like it. The one thing that I would change is, you can probably see, the front is pulling up a little bit. And that is just because the ratio of picked up stitches on the edge was wrong. And that's my bad. I've never picked up along a garter stitch edge before. So I found it a bit more difficult to know where to put your needle in to pick up stitches than stockinette stitch. But it doesn't really bother me that much. It's still the length that I wanted it, hits my hips. Would you like to see the other side? No ends wanted? No problem. Just turn it inside out. It does mean that the buttons are on the other side, but I buy a lot of men's clothes anyway, so I'm quite used to having the buttons on both sides of my clothes. So it doesn't bother me. Another collection of some scrap buttons. This one's really cute, like a little flowery one. And I just picked a random colour of thread to use with the buttons. So I picked pink, just because I thought it would be a nice pop. So it's a nice way to use up some thread that's almost running out. So here we are with a shirt underneath. Great layering piece, if I do say so myself. Could just have a cheeky little top button done up. Or, ooh, it's getting a bit chilly now. Let me do up the other buttons. So versatile, wow! I actually think this is something that I will wear quite a lot this summer. It's just like an effortlessly funky piece to wear when you're not making much of an effort everywhere else, if you see what I mean. So you just wear this with some jeans and a white shirt. Instant funk factor. As I've said before, my favourite parts are the little grinchy bits. Add so much to the overall appearance of it. And I'm very, very happy with the colour choices and happy to have those scrappy bits out of my stash. That is it for this video. Let me know if you would like a pattern for this. I'm in the middle of writing one up, but it's always nice to know if there is interest in this, so let me know. That's everything. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.